We will start for today's presentation. It is on cloud computing tools. I hope you are able to hear my voice and see me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just had a dialogue with your professor. So, in fact, to get the other members joined, I was told to continue along with this, and the recordings can be shared with them. So, this presentation is basically which we have prepared for especially to know understand about the tools. As you might have been familiar with this, what is cloud computing? Is basically a service which can be hosted across network, whether it can be intranet or internet. We call as cloud. So, and this is classified as IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Okay. So, just a second. So now let me directly come into the presentation part. So this will be approximately 1 hour of time. And I thought of doing this demonstration also if all members are there. Anyway, I'll see that what I can do for today's. But I'll be speaking about the tools. The cloud automation is a broad term that refers to process and tools. See, when I say automation, means it contains process and tools. These are the two elements which are there. Without tool is a kind of what we call as a weapon or a software which can really do some help in order to, whether it is a migration or whether it is an automation or any other things, any task. So associated with provisioning and managing cloud computing workloads and services. IT teams can apply this automation to private, public, and hybrid clouds. As you all are aware, when you host a service across internet, we call it public cloud, and across private, I mean within your limited environment, we call as private environment, private cloud. And if you have a partial implementation at your location and partial implementation in the cloud, we call it hybrid cloud environment. Naturally, there are huge challenges, and you know that cloud is the next generation, or which is essential way of doing business also. So last I mean about 10 years onwards, the cloud has started, but last 3-4 years you can see that cloud has been rapidly growing, rapidly. So there are many vendors who has come across, out of which the top vendors are Amazon and Azure, that is Microsoft. So not only that, there are other members like Google Cloud is there, VMware is there, and of course IBM is also there, Oracle is also there. Many more are there, but their market contribution is not much compared to Amazon and Microsoft. So this is one of the reason why we consider. What the very reason is that it has a vast infrastructure scattered across the globe. I mean, if I say about Amazon, caters about 245 countries where they have their infrastructure. I mean, like a data center posted across. And they do about more than 40% of the cloud market. So naturally, the very reason why Amazon is becoming popular because of various services deployed. And there is a connection between one service to another service. Okay. And there are definitely a kind of tools which helps them automation. So what is the biggest benefit of a tool is that you need not reinvent every time, or you need not redeploy every time. So once if you have a tool deployed, okay, so it can basically create wonders like you can make it cut short and it will reduce the cost. Main focus is basically like if you see about this automation tools, migration is one of the things because you as of now, most of the services are hosted locally. So now they are trying to put across in the cloud. This is one of the biggest challenges which I say. What exactly the tools really do? One of the biggest benefit of the cloud is the opportunity to reduce, the operating cost. So gone are those days when you want to deploy a server or an application or a web service or maybe a database application, whatever you say, you have to host right from the infrastructure onwards. Infrastructure needs to be hosted, and then we need to deploy the platform, and you need to deploy the application, and you need to deploy various other elements in support to that, like your backup, your maybe network, your other things also, like licensing, and all these things, huge costs used to be. But today we are in a day like you want the application now, means you'll get it within 10 15 minutes. That is the kind of, I mean, automation which is happening now. So client really bothers about his business. So this automation and configuration will definitely help in provisioning, configuring, management. See, even I tell you, when you want to deploy a kind of application, you need to have a challenging admin and also a senior expertise who is having a higher level, where they can deploy all this kind of deployment in a traditional environment. But in a cloud environment, once if you are aware of the concept, you can do it very easily. This is one kind which you can benefit it. So how do you do that? Sir, I don't know about programming language. I don't know this kind of language. So now the language also are bringing up into scripting model. So where that the script translators or script builders also are available easily. Like I'll tell you, the next generation scripting language, especially for automation, the main this is Ansible, which is YAML. This is one of the automation language computing, or we can say as a scripting tools, along with your JSON, JavaScript automation. These are a kind which will change a lot, especially towards this automation. So fortunately, there are many cloud infrastructure automation tools available to speed up the process. In addition, a number of related tools may be helpful. See, again, I tell you, there is not a single tool which will do it. Like if you go to a doctor, yeah, not a single doctor will do all type of recoveries. Same thing here also. There are huge number of services which are available across in the internet. Everyone wants, some are in SaaS, some are in PaaS, and some are in IaaS. There are various kind of deployment models which are coming across. So I will be describing in this session about what are all the major, which will help us, the tools which will help us in our cloud computing automation. So various benefits offered basically to serve you the best infrastructure needs, whether you migrate or target public, private, or even hybrid kind of cloud architectures. You can easily do that. So the main task of cloud computing is the task which is done through ages can be done in a simplest way. That is one, migrations and also automations. So these are the main focus elements for the cloud computing tools. Okay, let me focus about the tools where which are commercially being used and most popularly being used. Okay, when I speak about this first one, like you can see this AWS as Amazon Web Services. This is only a generic which I can say. I'll also demonstrate on this cloud formation if time permits. You can see this, which is a cloud formation is a one of the important tool. You can just deploy this entire infrastructure or maybe the application or whatever it is in the cloud itself with a simple script. Like as I mentioned, that scripts like JSON or YAML will allows you to model resources, automate them, deploy them. And I'll tell you, in industry, if you go real time, only high techies can really focus on the deployment models. Who are experienced about 5-7 years like that, they only plan and deploy. Whereas the elementary people 1 to 2 years, they only go ahead based on the day-to-day operations. But with this cloud formation, one single template is enough to deploy the entire farm. Whenever we say a farm, like a data center is a farm, that is instances or infrastructure servers or maybe deployment model like a database server or web server or SAP server or whatever you say. The entire solutioning can be done with a single script. If you plan to use AWS cloud offerings, CloudFormation is one of the best one which I can see. And of course, integrated to this in CloudFormation, we have some more elements like added, like even you can see this Beanstalk also, where along with that you can even do a kind of scaling factor. Suppose if your CPU is getting loaded, you can write a simple script within the CloudFormation itself, like in Beanstalk, about how you can even I mean, optimized, like auto scaling, load balancing, a kind of things which are very much more performance oriented to the, to the application. So these kind of activities also can be dynamically done, or even with the triggers and filters also you can apply that. I can show you this particular one. Cloud Formation also handles automated management cross-regional accounts, making it clear to expand local sphere business scales. So today, I mean, Cloud Formation is one of the major or a greater way to preview implementing changes to your infrastructure before they happen. Okay, if you plan to use AWS Cloud, let Cloud Formation do the heavy lifting you need to do. This is one bottom line you can say. I mean, one template enough. Just say deploy immediately within, you just wait for 10 minutes, the entire deployment happens. So this is the beauty of this Cloud Formation in AWS. Okay, this is not the one which is there. This is one of the tool which is in Amazon Web Services. So now I tell you about this Ansible. This is another tool which is. So this presentation is basically to give an awareness on of all the cloud computing tools. So that is the reason why I was showing this particular one. And Ansible is again which comes under this Red Hat umbrella. And now you can see this particular one which uses this YAML. This YAML is nothing but yet another markup language. Okay, becoming an industry standard. Yes, lot of operations can be done without an agent running across it. So again, I tell this Ansible is deploying this Ansible. You can write this playbooks. We call it the playbook. You can see at the top right hand. Very simple to understand. Host column controller, task column, name, so and so. Yeah, it's not like what you see like a regular program. You just define it automatically, yes or no kind of thing. There are this is a kind of playbook. So, and one more thing, people often ask for security. If I try to deploy anything, the agents will definitely communicate, and then hackers also can play like an agent and get the source codes. No. In Ansible, we don't have agents. And second thing, if there are no agents, then how this automation is happening? So automation is happening through the secure channel. I'll tell you, it's a secure channel. Through the encryption methodology. We do everything, and I mean playbooks, deployment, everything through SSH, secure shell. So key capabilities of Ansible Tower is like job scheduling. You can even do any kind of, suppose if I have a farm of 10 servers, I can write a script in Ansible YAML, a playbook, immediately I can define all the host names and then deploy this kind of activity, means it will be deployed automatically to all the servers and services in the farm. Okay, so that is the reason why Ansible is becoming very, very popular. Like major integration includes, even you can deploy this Ansible in almost all kind of clouds, whether it is Amazon, Azure, or VMware, Rackspace, DigitalOcean, Google Cloud Computing, anywhere. So I suggest everyone to go through this particular Ansible, and this will really help you in at least write some playbooks. So once if you deploy these playbooks, automatically you can see the deployment happening across almost all the servers. This I can say this is the next generation, what we call as an automation scripting language. Okay, so very, very important one. This Cloud Formation is again important. Ansible is also an important one. Okay, next is again another tool from Google. This is from Kubernetes. Kubernetes, we might have heard about this containerization. Containerization orchestration platform. This is purely a PaaS kind of. You can create an image kind of structure. Suppose if I have created a deployed a server or any kind of thing, infrastructure and platform, I can create an image and I can keep it safe. It can be, again, two types are there. Private, public is also there. I mean images. If you want to create a public, I mean you can access it elsewhere also. I mean across internet. No, private images you can deploy in a farm which is accessible only for you, and then the deployment is ready-made. Just open that image, you will be able to launch. You will be able to launch the container. Container is nothing but something which is there. Like you can have images, backed up key players, like see all these people like Google, AWS, Microsoft, IBM, major players including Red Hat also use this Kubernetes. on their Linux platform or even on Microsoft platform. So here you can see the key takeaway is like actual infrastructure configuration tool. Kubernetes makes it easy to deploy, okay, and operate applications on a microservice architecture for almost any cloud. So today, this Dockers, so this kind of containerization is a major play to deploy in especially the platform as a service. Along with the platform, you can even include what we call as the images of your softwares. Like if you, the complex, the major softwares like your web services or maybe deployed database services can be deployed, and the same thing can be created as a container, and then it can be used in multiple containers like a virtualized machine, so that it becomes easy. Like the power of the processor can be extended across in multiple zones, and dynamically also you can tune. So in simple, one understanding from you all to you all is that it's like a VMware. In one single platform, one single system, you can have multiple servers running across. This is called as containerization. Okay, so in each container you can deploy each operating system, any kind of operating system from the images which are there. So this is about Kubernetes. Thinking about adapting containers and Microsoft, many suspect that Kubernetes is one of the traditional configuration management tools. Okay, and then next is also from Azure. Is again another automation tool. Azure is again ranked second in the cloud industry. I tell you, many services has been deployed. Not only your IaaS, SAS is also very much competent enough in this particular Microsoft Azure, and that is Azure automation. The cloud automation and configuration service that provides consistent management across Azure and non-Azure environments. So people only think that, no, can I do only, what is a configuration service? Configuration is basically like elements, each and every element, like it can be infrastructure, it can be, applications, or it can be anything which is measurable, can have a configuration. So all these configurations across the industry needs to be managed. So this particular automation will let you do this configuration automation also, and it also a kind of database or kind of a structured model where you can even include to help you to reduce the, suppose incidents coming, you can easily figure out who is the basically what is the configuration of the system. Okay, what is who is the support people, what is the update which has been done, what is basically the application which has been, what are all the users who are running across, what is the SLA, what is the downtime overall incidents, etc. Everything is a configuration. Everything is a configuration. So all these things needs to be automized. When it is automized, then the greater uptime will be there. Best of all, it's not all with Windows like Azure. Like you can get heterogeneous. People often think that Microsoft is only for Windows. No. So they can even, this especially Azure automation can even help for deployments on Linux hosts also. So that the trigger with, Python, or mostly Python will be used here, or a PowerShell. So especially in Windows. Microsoft is clearly showing its dedication to DevOps practitioner. Yes, this has a developer operations lifecycle. You have all the stages from requirements till monitoring. All stages needs to be automated, and this tool will help you in multiple directions to take up into this DevOps automation. If you need to run a diverse set of operating systems, Azure can be a great way to help you. Not only Azure, but even AWS also do. So here, this is a specific one which has Microsoft has been more focused. Okay. You see this, meanwhile, if anyone is having questions, you can just raise your hands. I can also help you out in bringing out more information on that. Okay, so yes, these are, again I'm telling, these are only a collection of all the tools which we are deploying. Okay, tools in various, most popular tools, especially in the cloud computing environment. So Puppet is again, sorry, a long-time leader in the configuration automation. As I mentioned, this configuration today, lack of configuration, what is happening is that there is a lot of wastage of operational costs, running costs, deployment costs. All costs are becoming more. And also second most thing is that without having a configuration, proper configuration, we are unnecessarily wasting it. One is cost, the other second thing is time. So we don't know to whom to be contacted to deploy so and so. We don't know how the licenses are getting used. We don't know whether the things are being properly. I mean, like if you are having a storage of 100 GB, how much you have used, we don't know. So if there is a proper configuration, especially updated from time to time, it can be versioning or it can be configuration or whatever it is, then you will use an optimal usage. Once you have used an optimal usage, you will see that there will be optimized environment across the cloud. So this is what which is really helping, I mean, in the cloud. So the company's commercial offering, you can manage all aspects of your cloud-based infrastructure, right from compute to storage. See, compute is nothing but your instances or your infrastructure, to storage, to networking resources at an impressive scale. Like if you see about 20,000 nodes or something like that, then it is a big one. It's a complex network. And it works on public, private, and hybrid clouds. Yes, Puppet is very important aspect in, especially in the DevOps. Okay, you write modules in Puppet, especially in the DSL, domain-specific language, that provides code for configurations that are. See, again, I tell you, in cloud automation, these two languages, as I mentioned, this JSON and YAML, are the major advantages. We generally do write the scripts of in this particular area also. With Puppet Enterprise, you get out of the box orchestration and task-based command execution. In the GUI console, makes it very easy to classify and manage all cloud machines you have deployed. Okay, so Puppet maintains integrations and partnership with major players like Microsoft, VMware, Google, and Amazon. This is one of the configuration automation market tool, which is Puppet. And also in continuation to Puppet, Chef is also there. It's supported by, again, I tell you, AWS and especially in the DevOps industry. Chef is another veteran player of the infrastructure configuration. Everyone speaks about this configuration game. So configuration is basically a huge, I mean, element for automation. Like it can be, as I mentioned, like versioning also can be done. You have various kind of releases basically. And also it helps in integration phase basically. So deployment is done in project various areas like from GitHub or something like that. This Chef plays a very important role, especially in the integration area, where you have an isolated applications can be integrated and see that the configurations are well managed. Policies also, basically it works basically on the policies. You can even define your policies. This will achieve your CI/CD. This is CD, continuous delivery of production code. For Chef automation users, okay, you can automate the management of your self-hosted AWS infrastructure on an hourly basis. Normally, cloud can be, so whether it is hourly basis or a fixed amount of commitment time, reserved, what we call is reserved. You have reserved for one week or 1 month. Okay, you have to pay for it. And no, I do not want to use for 1 month. I have a code which is there, which needs to be deployed. And I need to see that whether it has been properly functioning or not. We can go for an hourly basis also. Okay, this is how this Chef automation will work. Okay, can be critical. See, all these applications, Chef is available even in AWS also. Okay, this is basically like your CD, continuous delivery, and GA workflow pipeline creation. Major integrations include AWS, Azure Cloud Computing, VMware, and Google Cloud Computing also. Chef is a solid choice if compliance management is what you need. Right? And now this is one of the again important one, Google Cloud Deployment Manager. So Google is also fast growing in the cloud market. So which has a major, I mean, stake. Like as I mentioned, the top two players are AWS and Azure, Microsoft. Google also is equivalently in competition. Like I say, 40% of that and about 20 to 25% of Microsoft services, left with about 10%, you can say, about Google deployment. That is what the market, when I say about 2019 and 2020. So this is GCP, GCM, we call it GCM, Google Cloud Manager. So with this tool, what we can do is that we can automate again the configuration. As I mentioned about configuration and deployment of CI/CD can be done in this particular of Google Cloud with parallel repeatable deployments and template-driven configurations. Yeah, here also see when I say about repeatable, there are certain tasks which need not be reinvented again and again and again. So you can create a kind of templates, and those templates can be used multiple times. That is why where you can reduce the time for what is the deployment, and also errors can be minimized. Errors can be minimized. It can be a reference libraries also. So for managing all phases of your infrastructure configuration and management from resource creation to deletion. So this is how, I mean, how much you use the tools for deployment, the same amount we also need to even decommission. We call it termination or decommissioning. Because otherwise there will be a chance that the code can be again injected to another one who has used that particular infrastructure. Okay, it has to be decommissioned properly. Otherwise, the same deployed code can be again, that's also called as hacking, but if the termination or deletion is not done properly. So there should be a process of deleting the process. No, sir, I have deleted the instance. No, I have deleted the file. There can be someone who can undelete and bring it back again also. So there should be a process in order to either for creation or even deployment. So this is another one. It's not much in the industry, but still this is also considered. VMware is also considered to be, especially for members from data science, they use a lot. Big data projects are happening mostly on VMware, okay, vCenter configuration manager. This small slice, even though the market ratio is around 2 to 3% only, less but still of VMware world, which helps you configure and maintain your VMware cloud environment such as Windows on like AWS and Rackspace also. So here also same, VCM gives you a central location to configure of your VMware cloud-based infrastructure, whether it's running on Windows, Linux or Unix. See, more or less almost all the tools which you see from different vendors, they have the common thing which is there. The common thing is that from the deployment, that is migration, automation, and of course, what we call as the configuration. So these are the key elements which you see across it. But the names can differ, the infrastructure, I mean, the deployment models can differ, but the idea is that to keep the configuration data, change of data needs to be recorded in configuration again. Like it can be from network, or it can be from compliance policies, or it can be even from infrastructure or any other agents also which are connected across. This is about some briefing about this VMware vCenter configuration management. And of course, we should not remove this. Cisco also. Cisco was the original vendor basically which has focused much of its products in networking, the core networking. So you know about networking is the heart, the core networking devices like routers, switches, gateways, I mean the firewalls, all these things are majorly supported for the last 20 years by Cisco. So they are also into cloud marketing, but they may not be that much familiar. I mean, market rate, I mean, like they are also about 2 to 3%. Cisco provides a number of cloud offerings from private to public, hybrid solutions, and so on. So this intelligent automation for cloud gives you IaaS, I mean, infrastructure setting up, hands-on provisioning and management of instances running in the Cisco cloud. Okay, so popularly, some of the Cisco cloud offerings include AWS also and OpenStack. You can see the top features include a self-service portal for users of your cloud, multi-tenancy, naturally, and network service automation. Though clearly created with Cisco's own cloud infrastructure offerings in the mind, Cisco Intelligent Automation for cloud benefits from being able to extend the automation tool in the ecosystem. Some pretty great features include self-service portal for the users of the cloud, multi-tenancy, and network automation. So this is about the Cisco, what we call as intelligence automation. Not much being used, but still. And of course, this Salt Stack is also coming very fast, very soon, which is not much popular earlier, but now it's also been recognized. This tool also, okay, right, is an open source project like Puppet and Gems, has also joined in the enterprise sphere with a big focus on automation, security compliance, mostly focused on security. Like as I mentioned about Ansible, because agentless, communication between all the systems, are especially used for deployment. Salt Stack can also be run agentless. If you want, you can run agent. Agent means like server client communicate. You asked, I give. I asked, you give, like that. But here, how it does? It's basically with the help of a port which will be there, where it like a secure shell, which is used for encryption. So in the same port, the data is being deployed. If you are interested to moving in the cloud, SaltStack provides an interface for interacting with the cloud providers like Salt Cloud. So you can use the Salt to configure and manage all aspects of your cloud-based infrastructure. Key capabilities of Salt Stack includes agentless, as I mentioned, node management and exceptionally secure compliance tooling. Okay, it has also a major cloud integrations with AWS, Azure, and cloud computing, VMware, Rackspace DigitalOcean, and OpenStack, Google Computing, Google Computing, Cloud Computing. And of course, the focus mainly in this is the security, because the encryption is there. It seemingly a huge deal these days. So this is a concern. Maybe a SaltStack is the way you want to go. Okay, so now I will quickly go through the demonstration on this cloud formation. Before I start demonstration, just you can ask any questions if you do have. Yeah, any questions from any members? I hope you are able to follow at least what I have spoken.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please respond.
Yes, sir. We follow, sir.
The following. Any questions from any members? I know there are very less members, but still, the other members can listen once the recording has been submitted. So, yeah, if there are any questions, raise your hand. Otherwise, I will show you this Amazon Cloud. So, you're able to see my screen, AWS Management Console. You're able to see? Can someone respond?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No screen is finished.
Management Console, AWS Management Console. Right? Okay, see here I'm going to do this small demo basically. See, this is a cloud formation, because one of the tool at least I thought of making a demo. Here, this once you log in, if you have an account in AWS, you can log in, and this is the main dashboard. Of course, you can say this is the main screen console. We call as management console. So here, what all you can do? Why today AWS is becoming very popular is because of the services. You can see this. These are all the services which are available. You see this one. You see compute, storage, database, and still more and more the AWS is increasing the domains also. You can see this machine learning is there, okay, data analytics is there, and of course this security part, IoT is there, gaming development is there, containerization is there. What all I have spoken is being supported by AWS. So one thing which I wanted to tell you is this cloud formation. So this is actually an automation. So you see here, this cloud formation is there, which is an automation tool. Here, once if I click this, you can go to this particular tool, which is automation tool. You can see this is basically create a kind of cloud formation stack. Okay, stack. So here, I'll tell you what exactly we are going to do. I want to deploy a database server with, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. I'll show you how you can do with a single script, and I'll show you how you can use with the help of a template. So I have a template written also before this one. I'll show you the template, and with the help of template, I'm going to basically I will discuss about first the template, and then I'll show you how you can deploy. So here, where is this? Yes. So here I can open with Notepad++. This is one of the script, template script which is written in, you can see this particular one, which is in JSON. Okay, you can write it even in YAML also. So these are all, I have to define this, what is my database, my SQL database name, this kind of scripting, which will help you, what type of system you want, it is mapped here. I will select this particular one. I'll say I want it T2 small or something like this. T2 small. I'll select that. So here this is an options which is being mentioned. Region. I'll select this as US East one. Okay. Resources. What type of resource I want? MySQL server. Okay. I can define that either a HTTP or PHP. Okay. This is a standard template and this looks like this. So what I will do at this point of time, I can deploy this particular one in this. So here, you see how fast it is. User need not know about what the content is. It is done by the developer. So template is ready. I can upload my template. You can see this particular one, choose the file. So from here, I will go to my desktop. GitHub. This is actually a template for LAMP. LAMP means Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP. So once if I deploy this one, what will happen is that I have Linux server, I have Apache server. Okay, Apache means web service, MySQL and PHP deployed in one go. So you can see this particular one. So I have uploaded the script. You can see the script, JSON or YAML formatted file. Okay, it understood that this script is so and so. Otherwise, you can see this particular one in a designer. So this is called as a template designer. If you are not familiar about the script, then you can even go through this designer and then deploy accordingly. Okay, this is the script which has come across. You can see this particular one at the bottom. This is the script pane. This is the resources pane. This is actually the what we call as the activity. You can see this all activities are deployed here. You can see in YAML also the script is automatically translated. So there is an interlink. This is called as a template builder. Basically.
Sir, no screen is visible to me.
Sorry?
No screen is visible to me other than your face.
No screen.
No, sir.
One second, I'll once again do that. You're able to see now?
Now I am able to see.
Okay, I'll start this one from CloudFormation. So this is actually the AWS, what we call as the dashboard. This is actually, once you log in, this is all the services which are there. Okay, so you have various domains. This is what which I'm going to say: compute, storage, database, migration tools, management. Okay, and many more like machine learning. You can see data analytics. All various tools are included. The security, Internet of Things, gaming, containers. Okay, application integration. So that's why Amazon is being used across the globe. So if we start learning one tool to one, oh, you'll understand how much beautiful this particular AWS services are. More or less, whether it's Amazon or Azure or maybe Google Cloud has a similar kind of services deployed in their own names. So now I'm going to discuss about this CloudFormation. This is called as the CloudFormation. Okay. So I'll show you this CloudFormation. This is the dashboard of cloud. This is the automation. So again, I'm showing you this. I have a template script. Okay. So you're able to see this LAMP script. Otherwise, I'll show you once again. Create a stack. So here I want to show you the template basically. Use a sample template. Template is ready. I'm not using a sample template. I have created a template. Upload a template. Then I'll show you how the template looks like. Choose a file. So I have chosen this particular script. Okay. So how the template looks like, I can view. Either I can deploy straight away, but I want to show you how the template looks like. View in designer. So this is the designer within the AWS itself. You can see along with the script. The bottom one here you see on the left bottom. This is called as the script. What exactly is the script which you have written? Okay. And here these are the resources. You can even add to this particular one. This is the script builder. You can add. Suppose if I want a EC2 system, I can bring and then just drag and drop. Automatically the script will be generated. Here you see this JSON and YAML is also there. If you want to translate the script into YAML, yes, YAML is also available. Same thing. Now I'll just brief about the script. What exactly this script does. You can see this particular script has, I mean, the elements are can be easily understood. This is a Java scripting object notation. You can see what type of server you want. T2 micro. Okay, you can select this list of all the servers is available, and of course this SSH location, where the IP address, mappings. Suppose what is this T2 micro means? It is there, the HVM64 or something like this. This is the images. And once you scroll down, you can even see the other parts also, like deployments of your platform. I mean, your say MySQL server, or maybe install all these packages. How it is getting installed? Yum, MySQL, HTTP, PHP. This is called as LAMP on this Linux server. So this script is very well clearly defined. If you want to make modifications, you can make modifications. If you want to add more, you can add more. Whatever the things which are there. Once this script is done, so you can go through this particular script and make necessary changes. This we are in the designer template. So okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'll just deploy this script, use a template file. Choose a file. Once again, I'm doing this LAMP script. Yeah, LAMP cloud formation script has been uploaded. So I just shown you in the designer. Go next for deployment. So now it is asking for what is your database name. I'll give it as it is. Maybe I'll say some password. DB user as I'll give my name. What is the type of instance? Yes, I can define. I can give the key name as AWS keys. T2 small is okay for me. If you want a larger one, you can go ahead. So that's all. All things has been defined. And say next. Sorry, stack name I did. Okay, see here, just make a note. The username is given as my name. That's all, right? And password is again. I'm just making a note and say next. Okay, that's all. And say next. So all this is the summary. Create a stack. So I think within 3 to 5 minutes, the stack will be created, and you can see I mean, with help of configuration, the automized configuration, any user can do this particular activity, and the server is deployed. You can see the status also is creation is under progress. You can see. Okay, just wait for 2 to 3 minutes. This stack will be created, and once this stack is created, you will get even a URL or the IP address of this particular one. I'll show you in another screen. You're able to see the other screen once again. You're able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Easy to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So once you see this particular one, the instance is also, I mean, the server is getting deployed, yes, running. You can see this is running. Now, what I can do is this, with a simple understanding, you'll be able to verify all this kind of, whether my SQL server is running or not, you can see. I'll show you now. So once this is running and this is initializing, still in initialization phase. Okay, I can even try to refresh multiple times. Okay. You could see this one running. Welcome to AWS Cloud Formation PHP sample. You could see that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, now the server is ready. Your Apache server, PHP server, everything is ready. If you want to even connect with the MySQL, I can show you very easily. Okay, I'll show you. You're able to see my putty? You're able to see the putty screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, black one. You could see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. So now you see this. I'll try to log on. This is my server. Deployment is done. With all MySQL is done, my PHP is done with a single template. And that template is available with the admin. That's all. That's just deployed. Now, how do I connect MySQL? I can say -u. Username is Anand. I think I can say p password. I can give in some password. It is connected. You can see this test database is also ready. I created this test database. It's also ready. You can connect, or you can even list the tables, etc. Create, and then rest of the things can be added. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone? Any questions? So I just given a short demonstration on this, what we call as this cloud formation. So there are number of other these things also, like if you go to in AWS, like screen itself in the services, you can even verify this Beanstalk also. You can see this, where is this Beanstalk? Yeah, Elastic Beanstalk is also there. This is the next level of automation. You can create a stack and then environment itself and deploy the entire application. Even if you have a code also, you can deploy it here. This is one level above to cloud formation. Okay, Beanstalk is also a tailored one. I mean, it can do multiple things in a single environment, Okay, like what all it can do, I'll just show you an outline of what it can do. So Beanstalk is a little bit about the cloud formation. You can see. You're able to see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this in Beanstalk, elements which are triggered in the what we call as script only gets executed. See, after execution, if someone wants to change something dynamically, some certain limitations are there in cloud formation. But here you can do many things like launching, deployment, creation of image. AMI means image, and also scaling means you can dynamically change across depending on the load or depending on load balancing, etc. It can do. I mean, the application consistency will be more. See, all these four elements are considered as one element, which is called a Beanstalk, which will be taken care, which can be taken care, and the user or the developer who wants to develop something can only focus on this deployment rather than to see all the infrastructure or whatever is there in, as part of the system. Like they need not focus on all these things. So this is the advantages, basically, like automatically handles deployment details, easily and quick deployment, high reliable, scalable, cost-effective infrastructure, and can be extended to support multiple deployment stacks, okay, development stacks. So this is all about my presentation. Yeah, if there are any questions, that would be great. So once this is done, I wanted to show you how you can remove this cloud formation also. You can see this cloud formation. Because we have created, I do not want this. In the dashboard, you can see this. The stack has been created. What you can do is stack actions. I can say delete it. So whatever the process of how we have created everything will be created, including the instance, or we call as the server, the application, applications like web services and of course database and PHP. All things will be done in a single window, in a single command. That much user friendly this cloud computing really offers you. So that's why people often say that anyone can learn cloud. If you learn this particular tools, I think you will become a great requirement to the industry, because the next generation, when you see about the next what we call as at least next 3 to 5 years, if I say, there is a great developments which will be happening, especially in the cloud industry, by all the vendors who are there. Right? Yeah, any questions from any members? I can take up questions, and I can also take your feedbacks. Let me see the chat. Yeah, any questions from any members? We are in the last phase before we conclude. Yeah, can someone also respond? How was this? How is it helpful for you? Yeah, just something like that. You're able to hear me? Hello? You're able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm at almost the end of the presentation. So here we have covered various tools about what all the major cloud vendors who are supported, and also we had gone through a small demonstration on the cloud formation. Okay, so this is all about me. I just thought of asking you, any one of you can provide some few lines about this presentation, a kind of feedback that would be helpful for me. Yeah, I'll share the list to your professor, whoever has attended.
It is the first time, sir, we hear how to create cloud. If we, if I listen second time, then it is means next time that it is very easy to us to create a cloud.
Okay, so you mean to say the terminology
you are,
what we are using is completely first time you're listening.
yes, sir. You.
But something has gone inside. I
Your
mean,
presentation is very good, sir. But we heard, the creation of cloud, we heard first time, sir. That's why it is full
okay,
new to us, new to me.
but was it interesting?
Your explanation is very interesting, and your explanation is very good, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. So, is there anyone else who wants to add something before we log off? So, okay, that's all from me with you all. I'll share this presentation once to your professor. Maybe you can circulate to your team. Okay. So thank you once and one and everyone, and also thank you to the GitHub management, including the HOD sir, for giving me this opportunity. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.